Raw for the TV shows and the radio. And I try to make friends, but still I always end up in my sandbox alone. They don't want to play with me, they afraid of me, I know. See, I came for war, with the blood that'll stain the sword, pulling up around the bodies that'll lay on the floor. I'm a category 4 when it rains it pours. Yeah, kicking down the frame of your door. I got the hammer of Thor to send shocks that'll rattle your cord, spatter the walls. That's what I brought the janitors for. My hands on the trigger, and that's what they've been panicking for. I'll go to war like Kenobi, Yoda, and Anakin, or Harrison Ford. And I'm hitting the warp drive, get caught like a fall guy with a boot to the cross-side. I got crosshairs on the hair, on the heads, and the jawlines of my enemies, so I squeeze until fuck it, we all die. I'm only showing up for the blood like a horsefly. I don't care if it's yours, mine, honor, it's offsides. Fuck the line in the sand, my man, it's small time. Look around.
With you all in just a minute.
All I see round here is afraid-ass rappers. Just a bunch of Diddy party going gay-ass rappers. Flying with Epstein when they need to get away. And because they tend to like them underage-ass rappers. Flight log of the plain-ass rappers. Sucking dick for the fame-ass rappers. Yeah, this game-ass back. Just a bunch of fake-ass rappers making Illuminati hand gesturing like they in a gang-ass rapper. Listen, I used to think if I was actually fire and had the talent to inspire from a track to decipher and worked hard on my craft, I could bridge the gap. Silly me. If I'd spent that time trafficking minors, I'd be sacrificing goats with Jay-Z and B with a Grammy on my wall, but that just ain't me. What I am is a beast, and ain't none of them ready. The Baphomet can't even save them if they fucking with Webby. Straight fear in the heart.
What is happening, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Let me know that you can all hear the music. I was listening to the stream back, and because I'm using StreamYard, I think I need to tweak some of the sound settings. I'm used to using the badassness of Streamlabs, which we will be going back to, I might say. And apologies, I'm wearing the stupid glasses tonight because it's been a long day and my eye is killing me. Music is on. Right, I'm feeling you. Right, where do we begin? So the first thing I'd like to just talk about a little bit is suppression and the way that sometimes your voice is throttled on YouTube. Today, I uploaded my first bit of proper content in a while. The problem is YouTube is not a fan of some of the things I say. You can see here. Excuse me. Moist Critical said this about 9-year-olds. 666 views. Okay, my live from the other night, 1.6 view, 1.6K. I'm all right with that. All right. So this is all you guys. This is all you guys pushing out my streams, pushing out what we're talking about. Keep it up. The live should be on X. 1 second. Yeah, it's on Sean Atwood's X, I do believe. I'll send you guys a link. 1 second. It might reroute me because I don't. Oh, wait. Yeah, there isn't. It isn't on Sean Atwood's X. That's odd. It says it is. And we've got a viewership there, so I don't know what's going on. But listen, thank you all for being here. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the Moist Critical situation. I can't remember my logins for X. I'm going to make a new X. I made one. I literally made one a couple of weeks ago, and I just can't remember the logins, which is, well, it's not that I can't remember them. It's just none of my logins are working. So, yeah. So, listen. We're going to jump into a little bit about this Moist Critical. We're not going to jump into it too much because I imagine a lot of you who are here seen the premiere. But from now on, I'm going to be doing my content like this, where we push it out live like we've done the Sneako series, because it allows me to harness a lot more platforms. And that's what we got to do, people. We got to make sure that we're pushing out the lives that Sean's doing, that I'm doing. And it really, 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 really helps. Now, keep in mind, this is not the Sean Atwood channel. So you're going to hear things. You're going to hear things being said you might not hear there. So yeah. Right, this music is not the one. Hang on a second. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Moist Critical, the video that I put out today, was covering the fact that doctors, parents think that it's okay for 9-year-olds to consent to life-changing surgeries concerning their private parts, and I disagree. I really, really disagree. I support anyone's adult life paths, choices, orientations, whatever. Fully support it. Almost to the point where I don't care. Okay. I believe that all adults who have consensual adult relationships and live consensual adult lives with other consenting adults should all have the same rights. But when it comes to kids and this freaking woke toxicity, there was an interview in the video that I done, and this one here, and you need to go and watch this video because in America, the big pharma machine that runs this transitioning machine is only there to cash in, and the stories are just so sad. But I'm going to play you one piece of this Moist Critical interview just so you understand why I think this is so wrong. If I can find the bit. All right, let's see. But you ain't
manage it.
When it comes to the
She ain't grown up yet.
Falls right in line with my beliefs that people can make their own choices for their own bodies.
If I decide to say, man, it's clips, not mags, and I decide to shoot you, that's a personal decision. Doesn't change the fact that it's wrong.
You've taken it out on me. You've killed me.
And from a personal decision.
That's looking at it from a very naive angle.
You said
you didn't make a decision for yourself. You made a decision to kill me. He and his family, he and she and that family is making that decision for that child's life. If that's the path they want to go down, it's like choosing a fucking sport. You can
it's the furthest. No, it's not. Yeah, Nick, relax. It is absolute. So to turn around and say that a 9-year-old choosing to transition at age 9 is the same as picking a sport. I mean, I was completely dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it was coming out of Internet Jesus's mouth. And you have to understand, this isn't just some guy. This is Moist Critical. This is Charlie. The guy has a lot of sway and weight behind his takes on a lot of things. So listen, go and watch that video. These lights are wild. Go and watch the video after the stream and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you're on the Discord, please jump into VC. I'll come and chat to you just shortly. Hear what you guys have got to say. Another thing I'd like to start dabbling into this evening is a bit of Bohemia Grove, okay? And going back to an era, right, that got me into everything that I'm into now. The conspiracies, the truth, questioning everything. And it's ironic because this all started for me with Mr. Alex Jones way back in the day, and his footage of him getting inside Bohemia Grove. Just bear with me. Yeah, here we go. All right, so Bohemia Grove, for those who don't know, is a meeting that takes place every year. In the middle, I mean, I'm really hitting you with some pretty loose terminology for where it is. So, Bohemia Grove Club is a private club with 2 locations, a city clubhouse in Nob Hill District, San Francisco, California, and the Bohemia Grove Retreat in north of the city on Sonoma County. Now, this is for world leaders, billionaires, titans of industry, all of this kind of stuff, right? And it's very much all of the people who seem to run the world sitting behind this secret club. It's men only. I might add. And, you know, when world leaders all get together and meet secretly in the woods and sit in front of an effigy of a huge owl, okay, otherwise known as Moloch in some cases. I mean, let's just go with Moloch just now. And they burn what they say is effigies of children. Okay, small little bound-looking mummified children that get thrown into Moloch. Now, Moloch accepts child sacrifices. Moloch has had multiple connections to various dark groups. Now, the owl takes many names and takes many meanings throughout many faiths, organizations, whatever. And it's important to remember that if you go and see another group with an owl, it doesn't necessarily mean Moloch. What happened to Survive in Life? YouTube decided that I was harassing child predators and pressed delete. So, yeah. So this was the video that really got me started on questioning things and going down the rabbit hole. So let's have a little listen because it's a bit mad. Also, Alex Jones filmed this on a potato. So what you're seeing here is from the crowd, all of the members staring down at this ritual. Moloch is just here. He's very, very sort of shadowy. And this was the first time anyone had actually got into Bohemia Grove. It was a massive deal. And obviously, you can think what you want about Alex Jones. Listen to this.
Such music as inspires the sinking soul, do we invite you into midsummer's joy. Sky above is blue, soul with stars. The forest floor is deep.
Keep in mind, this isn't a theater group. This is world leaders, titans of industry, hundreds of them. Okay, you got to keep that in mind because you know that's really what is key here. Yeah, Zoom boy, Zoom. Mark, I think this was like the mid-90s, bro. This is like pre-smartphone era. This is like potato footage.
Shake off your sorrows with the city's dust and cast to the winds the cares of life. Let memory bring back the well-loved names of gallant friends who knew and loved this grove.
Do you want me to play all of this? Do you guys want to watch this? Do you want me to play all 8 minutes of this and just play through it and then we'll talk about it? Is that, or what do you want me to do? Let me know.
Dear boon companions of the long ago,
Probably a Discman, Talana. But yeah, probably.
something that's written, not a place to be empty in our midst. No beauty statues who hold in this gray autumn of the world her springtime in your heart. A 10-hour tale. Gather ye forest folk and cast your spell over these mortals. Touch their world-blind eyes with fairy open their eyes and blow all the memories of yesterday and seal the gates of sorrow. It is a dream, and yet not all a dream. Dull care in all of his words, part of a dream. As vanished Babylon and goodly Tyre, so shall they also vanish. But the wilding rose blows on the broken battlements of Tyre. Rend the stones of Babylon.
I mean, this is spicy madness. Okay, don't get me wrong. Okay, if world leaders want to meet and do rituals and all this kind of stuff, then just be honest about it. Just be like, hey, we're a bunch of pagans who, you know, worship an owl god and sacrifice effigies of children. Deal with it. Okay, I know that sounds odd to say that, but that would be the thing to do because meeting in secret like this, yeah, like this is not okay. This goes against so many things that are laws within politics, within international trade, and all this stuff.
Oh, vow to beauty everlasting. For lasting happiness, return to one alone, and she surrounds you now. Great nature, refuge of the weary heart, and only balm for breasts that have been bruised. She has cool hands for every favorite brow, and gentlest silence for the troubled soul. The counsels are most wise. She healeth well, having such ministries as calm and sleep.
It's so bizarre.
Other friends may fail.
Again, if this was a private club and this was citizens, normal people, sure, crack on. But world leaders, it's
She will
God.
rise and give to you her kiss. So must ye come as children. Little children that believe nor ever doubt her beauty and her faith, nor deem her tenderness can change or die.
I mean, what?
Bohemian and priest, the desperate call of heavy heart is answered. By the power of your fellowship, dull care is slain.
Now, I could be wrong, but do you see that white line there? I think that's possibly one of the effigies. I think that's a priest, crazy priest dude, creepy dude, big owl effigy, possibly. Let's see what happens.
His body has been brought yonder
Yeah, here we go.
funeral pyre with joyous pipings of a funeral march.
Who's checking that's a fake body? Can I just throw that out there? I mean, can we take this from like an HR perspective? Like how do we know what we're seeing is fake?
Our funeral pyre awaits the corpse of care.
Yeah, I just want to put. I feel like they just took something off. See the white here.
Our funeral pyre awaits the corpse of care.
Oh no, yeah, this is the real deal. This is the real deal. This is like InfoWars days where you have to buy DVDs off the internet.
Here you have the boatman, his face painted up like a skull, bringing
Nice
the
one.
bound body across the water. Again, we'll have enhanced video of this later. And let's see if you can pick up all the different occultic meanings in the speeches you're about to hear.
I mean, you can see the boat coming here. Okay, so I imagine what I thought was the effigy is possibly not. Maybe this is the effigy arriving. It's been a while. We're all deep diving and refreshing and learning. I'm relearning this with all you guys.
Thus buried across the shadowy tide, in all the ancient majesty of death. No arch enemy of beauty. Not for thee.
Yeah, I think this is like pre-HD era. This is like badass 480p era.
Will of thee, and all the winds make merry with thy dust. Bring fire!
You would absolutely be cacking your pants if you were Alex Jones right now.
after year, he burned me in this grove, lifting your fury shouts of triumph to the stars. When again, he turned your faces to the marketplace, do ye not find me waiting as of old? Fools! Fools! Fools to dream ye conquer care! Hey, thou mocking spirit, it is not all a dream. We know thou waitest for us. With this our sylvan holiday has ended. We shall meet thee and fight thee as of old. And some of us,
Put one in the side chat if this is the first time you're seeing this.
some thou shalt destroy. But this too we know.
All right. All right. Oh, hello. What's happening? What's going on? No, you copyright claimed me, Nova. Little scamp. All right. So, world leaders gathering in secret like this, obviously it's a bit of a problem. And what has happened now in the era of drones, in the era of YouTube content creation, we've seen a bit of a spike. You may not know this, but there's been a few YouTubers now who have infiltrated Bohemia Grove, and their videos are pretty heavily suppressed. 5.1 million views. Tyler Overley. Now,
that's me.
If you don't know who Tyler Overley is, he obviously is a creator. He does a lot of like mini documentary style format content. Some of his stuff's really, really good. But he does his best to try and get in to Bohemia Grove. He tries to get in by boat. He tries to get in all kinds of ways, and the security is tight. I mean, he gets chased out, and it's something that we really need to question why this has ever existed. Now, somebody asked what they get from the ritual. Don't so much. First of all, let's worry about what they're discussing and planning for the world, okay? And then consider other world leaders that aren't there, okay? It's kind of the old concept of if the bosses are all smokers and you're a non-smoker, chances are you're going to miss out on some conversation because a lot of the chat gets done when they're having a smoke. So if you've got a percentage of hand-picked world leaders, Fortune 500 companies, billionaires, influential individuals, all sitting around making decisions about the world behind closed doors, planning where they're going to crush economies, where they're going to push agendas. This is the secret government. This is the Illuminati, the deep state. And this isn't fantasy. This is 100% reality. And we can start getting deeper and deeper into the groups, the organizations within the organization. Because Bohemia Grove, the Majestic 12, all of these subgroups of hidden discussion and plotting and scheming. We all need to be aware of this. This is when we talk about us being slaves and just fed shit and kept in the dark like a mushroom. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. And luckily, we live in an era now where drones and nosy bastards who seeking clout are causing problems. Okay, for those individuals who would choose to meet in the frickin' woods to decide world issues. It's really, really, really a problem. Now, bear with me a second, everyone. Can we post a Discord link as well, please? What happened after this got leaked? Well, obviously, a lot of discrediting happened in the same way as it always does. This was the MySpace era days. This was like the Bebo era days. And information was traveling fast, but you kind of had to know where to look to get the information. it wasn't spread in the way that it used to spread. YouTube was in its infancy, and truth seekers were mainly pushing things off their website, and that's what was going on with Alex Jones at this time. And really all that happened in that era, because social media was in such its infancy, was different than what would happen today. You've seen what's happened to Alex Jones in this day and age. That's what would have happened back then, but it just wasn't like that. So it was a case of it just being ignored. And I know that sounds mad by 2024 standards, but that is kind of where it's at. A few independent journalists pushing and asking questions. But that's about it. It's nuts. It really is nuts. Now, give me 1 second. Again, I apologize about these stupid glasses. And again, just to reiterate it, it's all males. There's no women allowed at this, which is why a lot of people feel like it echoes the Freemasonry setup. And for me, the Freemasons are like every other group in the world. You've got really good bits and really bad bits. The boats that went over from the UK to found America, okay, the founding fathers, if you will, most of them were Freemasons from the Scottish Rite. And when they went over there and they founded America, they also founded the American version of Freemasonry. Now, I believe that is where we've seen the initial birth of what we know as the Illuminati. Okay, not the ancient orders or anything like this. Whether or not the Illuminati had a hand in infiltrating a lodge and turning it, whatever, put whatever spin on it you want. But that's what I believe it is. And there's a big difference between the Scottish Rite, the York Rite, and the American version of Freemasonry. And trust me when I say, it's like everything else. You've got good ones and you've got bad ones. But for example, let's say we were all in a Freemason lodge together, and one of us achieves Grand Master, who runs the lodge. That gives you the right to then start your own lodge. So all of our like-minded evil friends all join that lodge and hand select like-minded people to come into it. And with conspiracy and deception comes power and growth. And I think that's my take on the modern Illuminati. Yeah. So what else? Okay, hang on a second. Okay, here is this is an early 20th century image of the Bohemia Grove back in the day. So this has been going on. It's 2,500 members. Hang on a second. Let's have a look. It says it's got a website. Oh, wow. Jesus. Founded in 1870. This is the official Bohemia Grove website. All right. Bohemia Grove is the club's 2,700 acre property in Shenanigans County. It has been used by the club since the 1890s and acquired increments beginning in 1901. The Bohemia Grove includes club-maintained buildings, common outdoor theatre and dining venues, member-maintained camp structures, roads, trails meandering through magnificent strands of virgin redwood trees. And as well, right, we need to think about redwood trees in America, right? That is some of the oldest, okay, forests or wild America. If you don't know anything about redwoods, if you've ever seen Return of the Jedi, Endor, where the little Ewoks were with the big mad trees, that is a redwood forest. Some of these trees, they've cut archways through dead ones so cars can pass through them. All right? That's a big-ass tree. That's a big-ass tree. So we have to ask ourselves, an ancient forest, okay, you've heard me talking a lot about ancient entities, spirits, beings, whatever you want to throw at them. And when you're in an epicenter of ancient forestry, okay, it magnifies everything that you're doing from a ritualistic point of view. It's almost like, what's the best way of putting this? I'm trying to come up with one of my metaphors here. I can't think of one, but for me, the forests that I go to are relatively new, but when you're in an ancient forest, it is a completely different vibe. So individuals like this, again, meeting in ancient places to perform rituals to owl gods with effigies, it really should not be happening. And how old it is, how far it goes back. I mean, 1870, what did it say it was? 1872. Hang on a second. So we're talking about 100 years after America was founded, 1776. Is that right? Is that when, or was that independence? I can't remember. I can't remember. Who cares? 1872, a long time ago. So this has been going on and on and on and on without check. It's been put in the public eye. It's been exposed multiple times. Who do you go to complain about this? And I'm asking seriously, stick your answers in the side chat. Who do you call? You've got to understand when individuals go, when this event is on, there is snipers in trees. How you doing, Michelle? Snipers in trees, you know, ghillie suited up security. This is no joke. Even when they aren't there, people get chased out. People, you know, fear that they're going to get black bagged and disappear. And 1878. So yeah, again, it's one of those things that just blows my mind. And when we start looking at burning children, okay, in an effigy, and then we start looking at modern conspiracy, man on the island, the adrenal shakes, all this kind of stuff. You know, Sean had a really interesting theory, right? That what's the weight loss thing people are raving about in America? Is Ozempic, something like that? Something like that. So Sean had this theory that everybody in Hollywood who was on the island is promoting Ozempic and blaming the Ozempic facial, you know, changing of their bodies and all of this as a side effect of that. Sean had this really interesting theory that it's the side effect of coming off the adrenal shakes that nobody can get now because the island's gone, which I thought was a really good one. Of course, it's just a theory, but it just seems to affect a certain category of Ozempic user. I'm just pointing that out. Now, when it comes to the man on the island, when it comes to... Before we get to the man on the island, when it comes to ritualistic abuse, why does it happen, right? Why do they do this? Just in case any of you have never had it explained to you. So when it comes to any sort of ritual that involves the creation of energy, okay, fear, panic, pain, all of these things are some of the most powerful and quick producers of energy, negative, terrible energy. Okay. So they prolong and they suffer and they generate this power that is harnessed and then used as offerings to whatever creature, whatever monster, because that's what these things are. Okay. This isn't dark magic. This isn't black magic. This is very old ritualistic blood magic. And black magic really should be called gray magic, if I'm being honest. the things that exist in the gray, okay? Shadow people, things like that, all right? Because you can physically see them. The stuff from the darkest parts of the world, I mean, these are the things that take hosts, okay? And they want to generate as much suffering and fear within that host to create a pathway through to us. And by offering a pathway, by creating suffering, by generating energy and offering vessels, that's what these rituals are for. Mad! It's mad! Okay? So white magic or Wiccans and things like this, white magic is selfless magic, okay? I would like Aiko to be happy. Oh, Aiko be happy. Whereas black magic, or what I call gray magic, is I want to be happy. All about me, all about me. That's the difference. Intent, belief, all of this is so crucial. Mass worship, okay, is one of the most powerful components to all of this, okay? You only got to look at the modern day talentless selection of creators, of celebrities. The mass following and the mass worship is what keeps them going. And I know a lot of you will be thinking, this guy is just waffling madness. Trust me, take it from somebody who has seen the results of mass worship, who has seen the results of creating energy not in a torturous, horrible way, I might add. There's multiple ways of creating energy, and manifested change for himself. It's fascinating. It really, really is. A lot of people who want a science to go along with this will relate it to quantum physics, quantum realities, the law of attraction, all this kind of stuff. And the law of attraction talks about belief and intent. And that is what fascinates me about that, because that is so crucial. All right. Okay, adrenal shakes are new. What drove humanity to such madness? So here's the thing. Are they new? I think the really scientific, modern version of it might be new, but this is way, 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 way more ancient than anyone can fathom. Like, really, when we hear the term satanic rituals and things like this, it's such a Christian perception, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with keeping it easy to understand. It's just it's so much older, It's wild. How y'all doing anyway? Mrs. Burton, Mrs. Armstrong, Aiko, Nike Slim, Emma, what's happening? Kaza, Mark Smith, Lou, what is happening? Mackenstein, Shaney Boy, what is happening? My G, JB from FL, good to see you. Ciego, what's happening? Amatrine Queen, how you doing? Ridge Gets Real, how you doing? All right, it's time for a quick cigarette. That's the wrong button. Right? There we go. Yeah, so I had stepped away from all this a couple of years ago. I took a beating, lost 117,000 subscribers on one channel from YouTube's ban hammer, lost 20,000 on another from YouTube. All basically from the exposing that we used to do. And it's taken a while, man. It's taken a while to get back on the horse. But in the back scenes, behind the scenes, I've done multiple operations. Last Christmas, no, Christmas before last, there was a website I came across on the surface web. It was horrifically, it was named horribly, right? And it was a huge, huge group of abuse content sharers, shall we say. And we got inside their entire database. I mean, on the surface web, man, what idiots. We got inside their entire database, handed everything over to Interpol, and they were erased from the internet, like proper erased. And that was just for banter. So now my focus is exactly where it was before. Individuals using YouTube and social media to spread this message, to contact minors, the younglings. But I want to start looking out with YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Let's go for this. I'm going to check in on some old operation members, shall we say. Brimmer Models seem to still be going strong. So sadly, we're going to have to reinvestigate that. They were a Ukrainian child modeling agency that were using YouTube as a springboard to promote their content. 65 kids, all being moved around the Ukraine. Owners raided, put in jail. Wild. What Webby song is? It's a new Webby song. No one. Veins pump frozen, blood of the chosen. You'll never see another like me. The mold's broken. I cause commotion. So, what is Discord? Emma, Discord is just a private server. Think of it as like a forum, okay? Or think of it like a private version of this side chat, okay? You were talking to someone about Brimmer the other day. I've actually got... One second. So if we go on my website, right? If you're new to me, this is a good place to start. Go projectrook.com. This is a friend of mine who's been missing since Christmas as well. We're going to be diving into that very soon. You will get my documentaries. Hope Dies Here is right here. You'll also get the Surviving Life content back catalog. Okay, this is all the operations. And if you go into one of them, some of them are still to be updated. Amos Yee, for example, you've got videos and follow-ups. You've got other YouTubers that have covered it. You've got the full report of the investigation. You've got all of our screenshots. You've got a backlog of the Discord server that we infiltrated. We're talking about individuals like Amos Yee, a pro contact PDF file, who invited one of our decoys who was a vulnerable 14-year-old girl, or so she said. And we took over this guy's entire server. And then a couple of weeks later, he was jailed out in America for possession of child content and traveling to see a minor for touchy-feely. But this was weird. This was like a weird time for PDF files. It was really the first time they tried to push for mass normalization from a modern social media point of view. There was a group back in the 80s. What the hell was it called? I can't remember what it was called. But it's included in the documentary, Hope Dies Here. And they wanted to change the legal age of consent to 6 or something. Wild. But if you've got the stomach for it, Hope Dies Here. This was the first this is one of the first documentaries that I produced that really blew up the channel. And all of the investigation screenshots can be found here again. We go into what hashtagging is. In fact, I tell you what, this is quite interesting. So people often wonder how this stuff is stopped. How do the police and the law enforcement agencies deal with this? And the IWF, which is the Internet Watch Foundation, came up with a very clever system for helping track abuse content. Have a look at this.
Millions of images of child sexual abuse are traded online every year. A moment frozen in time for victims that can live on forever unless they're removed for good. At IWF, we use a technology called hashing. Each image is given a digital fingerprint, an anonymous hash, which also links to a classification of the image based on UK law. These hashes are then shared with technology companies so they can search for and remove them. But too often, the image isn't removed everywhere, because how one country classifies an image is different to another. And without a common global classification system, mapping every image against every country's criteria would be a gargantuan task. At least it used to be. At IWF, we've now developed IntelliGrade to solve this challenge. With IntelliGrade, we're able to include detailed information on what is contained within the image. This additional metadata can then be used to classify an image for each country, so they can be removed for good. For the first time, we have a common system for grading child sexual abuse images for removal worldwide, and we can do it in the millions. Finally giving victims a chance to move on with their life. IWF IntelliGrade.
I mean, it's
showing
mad.
child sexual abuse victims we're fighting back together.
It's mad the level of technology that goes into something like that. And fair play to the IWF, because, I mean, where do you even start with that? You know, these poor guys have got to sift through all of this stuff. It's just unreal. All right. See, revenge P is another thing. So, yeah. 1 second. I've just dropped my freaking cigarette everywhere. What a dick. All right. So, anybody who wants to come and join me in VC on Discord, I'm jumping in there now. Feel free to come and join me and let me know what you are thinking about what we're talking about and what we're covering. Feel free to come and join the Discord. Look forward to seeing you there. Just bear with me a minute. I just need to go for a quick pee, and then I will be right back. You beautiful bastards. All right, everybody. Yeah, so okay. Okay, so yeah, sorry, Sarah. So the theory, and it's just a theory, it was just like, it's like chatting in the office around the water cooler, okay? So it seems like a lot of the people who have the Ozempic face seem to be close relate in connection with a lot of the people who were on the island. And it was an interesting theory that maybe Ozempic face is being used as a cover-up for adrenal shake face. And this could be a side effect of them coming off of that because there's no more on the island. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please. Did you see the CERN ceremony live stream, Monica? That was hilarious. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure, right? And this is a random one to be confessing. Was that not when I had that really, really bad toothache and I got those really, really mad opiate-based painkillers and then came on and tried to do a reaction live stream and went off on a rant about how I don't understand how people on drugs can do crime because I couldn't lift my arms up. Yeah. See, opiates aren't in the fun category of alchemy, right? But I'm telling you now, if there's a medical reason, they kick my ass. Toothache is about the only time that have because what the hell are they called? I can't remember what they're called. But you have to go into the chemist. They keep them behind the chemist. They come in an intimidating big red box, and it basically says, "Do not exceed 2 tablets a day for more than 4 days, or you will become a druggie." Basically, right? But two of them just wreck me, and it's funny to watch, man. It's funny to watch. I actually found some of the old YouTube shorts from back in the day, and there's a lot of content from back in the day, right, that I've still got that I may edit for YouTube and put back up there. A lot of it's still very relevant, you know. Oh no, it's codeine based. These are proper mad ones. Like, they really are. I don't understand how they can be sold to people over the counter. You know what I mean? But they keep a heavy track of how many you've bought. Do you know what I mean? But wild. And a friend of mine that got his jaw broken, really posh private school guy, got his jaw broken. They pumped him full of morphine, and he spent the whole time trying to convince the doctor to go into business with him to sell morphine. It's so amazing. People need to know about this. Do you know what I mean? Funny. What? Hang on a second. What have you imagined? Tolerance. People big up tolerance. Yes. Exactly. So I have zero tolerance to opiates. Okay. So it was just funny. But don't mess around with those things, because they are wild. So we've covered a little bit of Bohemia Grove. We're going to sort of dabble in a few other topics this evening. Don't worry. I do need to smoke, and I apologize for my filthy habit. But what are you guys' thoughts on what is really going on in the world? You would think, okay, that with so many people knowing the truth and what is really going on, that there would have been some effect on these individuals having their way, if that makes sense, but it's done nothing. And I know that's a very naive statement to make, but it's in our faces. We all know that it exists. The sheeple, okay, which aren't you people, okay? See, girls play bass. See, Masons and the Illuminati, for me, the Illuminati, what we think is the Illuminati, the modern version, is, in my opinion, a subsect of the American Freemasons. Freemasonry has good lodges and bad lodges, girls that play bass. And when you learn how a lodge is created and how a private lodge can become very quickly a dark place for like-minded people, you get a better understanding of how does anybody else see that alert on Discord? Unusual join activity. I don't know. Do I check that out, Shane? Did you get that security warning popping up? Yeah, go and have a wee look if you can, mate. I don't know if it's just because a lot of new people are joining and the server's just shitting itself. Oh, wow, there's a lot of new people joining. Any of you people want to come and join me in the video, the voice chat and the side chat? I am here now. Come and join me. Come and join me. And I would very much like that. You know, I've got a lot of interesting stories about the Freemasons. The Knights Templar is a fascinating story. Why Friday the 13th is unlucky is a fascinating story. So we'll do some story times soon. Oh, Shane left. Okay. I'm going to sneeze. Aiko, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I sure can hear you. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Can we just get a 1 in the side chat if you guys can hear Aiko talking?
Hello. Can you hear me talking?
Let me know if you guys can hear Aiko in the side chat, please. You can. Okay, wicked. Okay, so we've got Aiko, Lisa B, Talana, who I think is... No, you're not new, Talana. And we've got the meme god himself, Randy Marsh. How are you doing? Nah, okay, wicked. Aiko, you're good for actual live chat. So a lot of people were commenting that they want to see you come back on the channel, Aiko.
I've seen that. That makes me feel really happy.
Yeah, I think that's something that we should. What are you doing just now?
Me?
Yeah.
I am not appropriate for being on stream.
Well,
I've been cleaning all day. I look like a mess.
So it sounds like what you're saying is you're going to do the 10-minute makeover challenge.
Oh man, not today, dude.
Not today,
talk,
dude.
but
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, so you're here now anyway. It's okay. People can hear you. But what's your take on? I mean, obviously we've been talking a little bit about Bohemia Grove, and we've only really touched on how I got into Bohemia Grove. Had you heard of it before now? Had you deep dived into it? And what's your impressions of what you've seen tonight?
It blows my mind. I have not actually heard about it until you mentioned it. There's a lot of topics that you cover that I don't hear about until you talk about it. So my mind is kind of blown that was actually had a video taken of it, and why people aren't talking more about that.
I mean, we're talking the 90s, Aiko. We're talking back in the day. This is old news. I mean, to truthers, this is proper old news, and it's amazing that you're saying you've never heard of it before. I mean, that's wild, because you're quite queued up, if I'm being honest. Now, another thing that we were talking about, Aiko, and I get asked about a lot, is red rooms. Okay, 383267. Can you mute your mic? I'm going to mute you because all I can hear is what's going on in your life. Aiko, do you remember the ninth room?
Oh yeah, the from South Korea, where they all did the stuff in Telegram.
Well, yeah, okay. So could you give us a wee 10-minute chat about that? Can you just sort of take the people back through the story a little bit?
It was this one guy. Oh, I don't remember any names or specifics, but they were conning young girls into with cell phones and promises of money and stuff to send content, and they were putting it through Telegram and blackmailing these girls, and people were killing themselves, and they all got exposed. And it was the first one of the first criminals to get his face exposed in South Korean media, and they're still unveiling more about it. I think Rotten Mango was just talking about some of that stuff the other day, but right now they're talking more about Burning Sun scandal, which had a lot that kind of ties into that. But right now they're unveiling a lot more about the Burning Sun scandal still.
Okay. And let's touch on that. I'll Google it, but give us a rundown of the Burning Sun.
The Burning Sun scandal was something about there was a nightclub that was run by a lot of Korean pop stars and entertainers, and they were giving high-paying customers access to women to SA. And they were videotaping it and taking pictures and exchanging it through social Kakao Talk, which is
is this the right
Korean
is this the right one on screen? Burning Sun, the BBC documentary about the women who exposed the secret K-pop chat groups.
Yeah, that's the one. It was all exposing the K-pop groups and stuff, the K-pop stars that were sharing this kind of content. Okay. And they're still coming up with more victims of it and more perpetrators. It's becoming quite crazy. I haven't touched on it. I haven't read into it lately, but it keeps popping up into my YouTube algorithm. Yeah,
that's wild. And when you just obviously don't go too into much detail, but what was this? Was it abuse content? Was it what sort of content was it? I mean, obviously it wasn't good content.
No, it was just a lot of unconscious girls that were being taken advantage of, and then they were just posting those videos in the chats between each other, and then those chats all got leaked.
See, there's a lot of weird niches, right? There's the unconscious girls. Have you heard about this private chat rooms where people can buy videos where people are in busy crowded areas and pleasuring themselves and finishing on people and filming it on someone's back or their bag? That is
vulgar. I have not heard of that, and I've heard of a lot of weird things.
Don't quote me. The closest I can do by memory to where this happened was Asia. Okay, which doesn't really narrow it down. And I can't remember the name.
Weird. I know that taking inappropriate videos and photos in public places, especially in Japan, and is really rampant. But like in Japan, they have a safety feature where like if you take a picture or something, there's always a shutter sound, even if your sound's turned off, because there's such a problem with taking pictures and doing inappropriate stuff in public.
Well, this seems to be video, right? And maybe it is Japan.
Video?
Maybe it is Japan because
it's always Japan if it's weird.
Yeah, but it's weird when you find out how popular and widespread these little niches are. You know, the ninth room, the people that are going around filming women while they're sleeping. That weird eyeball guy that was on YouTube. Remember that?
No, not the weird eyeball guy. Oh god,
that was wild. Just footage of women unconscious having their eyelids pulled open, and it was weird. Weird.
So weird.
Yeah, I mean it's odd times. It really, really is. So listen, before I move on to someone else, Sneako, what else has been going on with you? Give people a little update on your life, how you're doing, and all that good stuff.
Oh, I've been great. Just working a big girl job and kids and just trying to love myself, just the usual. But thanks to everybody that's reached out and says they miss me. It means a lot, and glad to see Ron back up and going.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. It's good to see you. It's good to hear from all of you. You know, it's good to finally be back and be in a good place. You know, I'll be honest. It's been an interesting ride. I'm not going to lie. But I'm really, really glad that you're here and everyone else is here. So thanks for being here and being awesome. So, Talana, are you there? Talana? No? All right. Right. Who is this? I'm going to unmute you. Who is this? M. ... Are you there? Nope. All right. Good crowd. Good crowd, people. Lisa B., are you there?
I'm here, Ron.
What is happening? How are you doing, Lisa? How are the doggos?
Oh, they're driving me crazy, but they're awesome.
How many have you got right now?
Right now, I probably have 50-something in the rescue.
No,
and a lot of them are a lot of them are at my house. Well, they're smaller breeds too. They're not giant honking great mastiffs. They're itty bitty Chihuahua types and Min Pin types, so they're tiny, so it's manageable.
Yeah, okay, that does make sense. That does make so. I mean, it's like 10 Great Danes, but 50 tiny wee things.
Yeah, that sums that up. Yes, and a lot of them are older seniors, and I have 1 or 3 legs, and like I told you the other day, it's different dogs and different situations, and
but still 50. 50's nuts. 50's nuts. Like that's amazing.
It's not. It's like another job that I have, but I love it because ultimately the goal is to find them all new and loving homes.
Well, like next week, middle of the week time, we're going to start our food drive here. We're going to start learning about the doggos, and we'll make sure people have got your contact information, because I'm sure you're going to get some calls about rehoming some doggos, especially once we get you rolling on social media, and having these doggos not sell themselves, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. I understand. And Facebook is becoming less rescue friendly. I don't know if I mentioned that the other day. And they've been bumping out posts and flagging them as not appropriate. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I could have said a very rude word.
Have you got a website? Have you got a website?
At the moment I don't. The problem being is finding somebody to maintain that, and because I seriously have no time to do that.
You've been tricked. So if you can manage Facebook, we can build you a website that's easier than Facebook to update. Or once all the hardcore information's in, we'll get. So for example, I can do the work for free. We just need to buy the web space and the domain name, which is cheap as chips, and we can plan all this out for you. Do you know what I mean? That would be fantastic, because people jump in, and it's almost like how you describe narcissism. They jump in, they love bomb you, they say, "Oh, we'll do this, that, and the other." And me, I'm old and wise and kind of figured out that people don't hang around as long as they say they will. And building a website's probably 3-hour job, and we'll start putting this together Monday, Tuesday, and we'll roll this out from the Daily Show on Wednesday, and that should be the start of August, right? I think so.
That would be fabulous. That would
Thursday.
Be just
Thursday's
amazing.
the 1st of Thursday. We'll start it. That's the 1st of August.
Fantastic.
But we'll get it all. We'll get it all done.
That would be wild.
So get ready if you're watching now. Get ready to part with your money. Okay, $5, $10, $15, $60 for bags of food to help Lisa fund her dog rescue. We're going to help her get set up with a website. We're going to help her get set up with her social media so that she can put her work out there, because I'm telling you, YouTube is a wonderful thing. And as long as you don't expect to be 10 million subscribers in and making, $10,000 a month, everybody can make a few $100s a week, a couple of $1,000 a month. And it's passive. And your doggos are, I'm sure they will be greatly received on the platform.
Oh, yes. And every little bit helps. I mean, my food bill alone is probably easily $250 a week, and it comes mostly out of my own pocket. And probably 95% of it goes out of my own pocket.
Yeah.
So I work to support my animals, which again I don't mind.
That's why I've never.
It's a labor of. Yeah, it's a labor of love.
Yeah, that's why I've never been to a dog or cat home rescue. I would come. Right. I made that mistake with a rabbit fostering place in Edinburgh, and then ended up with 9. Because how can people go into a shop, like a pet place like that, find out that there's a rabbit who's 6 years old and has been there for 4 years because he's too old and no one wants him? So I used to take all the old rabbits, the grumpy bastards, and give them nice little places to live out their lives. Pair them up with a guinea pig or something like that they can have as a wee buddy, and it was awesome.
Right.
And we used to foster them too. Chinchillas as well. Chinchillas are awesome.
But I have several animals in the rescue that are the same. What I call FOSFOS cases that won't leave the rescue. Some are behavioral, some are health issues, because people don't want the older and sickly ones. And I get it. It's a huge commitment.
Yeah,
I understand.
We should do like a buy one get one free situation, right? Buy a young dog, get an old dog free, right? Just pair them all up.
Get an old fart for free.
Exactly. But listen, Lisa, thanks for coming and talking to us. Did you watch the video from earlier, by the way? We can talk about that.
I did. I have seen Bohemia Grove footage before. I'm one of these people that before I discovered Sean's channel, I did all the deep dives and went into researched. And I think I discovered Bohemia Grove a few years ago, and my husband laughed at me because he's like, you're in your conspiracy theories, and now he's like, oh, they're true.
well, this is it, and it's fascinating when people click, when they find their own path to waking the frick up. Now I did a video earlier, Moist Critical. That's the one with the spelling mistake on it.
I did. Yeah, I saw that one too, and that whatever his name is, I forgot his name now. Begins with S. He's a complete idiot. Oh my goodness.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, everybody. I just want to touch on this just one more time. When we have an individual with almost 16 million subscribers, I'm not joking. I'm not joking when I say I've been very tempted, right, to create what are called a YouTube slop channel. Okay, which is where you basically post a 12-minute video that is just about a trending topic that someone else has already covered to push you into the algorithm. So if you've got somebody with 16 million subscribers who gets 1 million, 2 million, 3 million views on a video, you roughly title your video similar and cover the similar topic. The algorithm will push that out as another option with these larger creators. Slop posting, right? I've been so tempted to start one based off of the opinions of Moist Critical, because the whole internet waits on him to speak on subjects because he's usually always on point. But to turn around and say a 9-year-old choosing to cut their private parts off is like picking a sport. It's wild. And
it's terrifying because these people have such a huge influence on such a huge audience that it's mind-boggling. It is completely blows my mind, and that's what more terrifying to me is that these people influence the younger generation, the people that are more vulnerable and more susceptible to suggestion.
Correct.
That's, yeah, we've got to draw the line somewhere.
Well, there's only so many times I can let all of you viewers off with drawing of a line because your children, we're not, and I'm not necessarily talking about 14, 15-year-olds. Okay. I'm talking about young kids. If you're not on top of what they're getting access to, then what is going on? Now, put a 1 in the side chat if you'd like me to show you guys on a tablet with a fresh install how to set up a child's tablet through an Android tablet setup so that you can secure it and have that control. Especially when it comes to teenagers, parents are like, oh, I don't want to invade their privacy. I don't want them to feel like I'm watching them. Why not? Stop thinking about it as an invasion of privacy and think of it as a rape barrier. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
It's nuts,
you're going to save their life ultimately. That's the goal.
This is it. And there's amazing apps where they will monitor everything on your kid's phone and you don't have to monitor it. And they have suicide monitoring, they have bullying monitoring, and it's an incredible app. I can't remember the name of it, but I will showcase it in the next live. Now, I've got a couple of podcasts from back in when I tried to stream on Facebook days that I'm re-uploading to YouTube, and I may start once a week doing an old podcast that I used to do called PG, Parental Guidance. And it was really a chapter-based learning podcast all about what people who hunt down children use as tactics for normalization, symbols, and how you can identify groups and all the rest of it. I'll just show you. This is episode 1. You don't need to really listen to this part here.
Hey, Ron,
Holy
you were talking about that group that years ago. That was it, NAMBLA, that you were trying to think of?
No, NAMBLA was the USA. This was
because that's that was North American man.
North American Man Boy Love Association.
yeah, that one.
Do you know, when I seen that in South Park, I thought they made all that up.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
So this is episode 1. It's all about predator symbology that was released by the FBI, showcasing symbols that predators use to identify their want and affiliation to other groups that are attracted to children. And when you start looking for example, pay attention to this symbol here, and I start giving examples of how this is pushed in front of our kids' faces, especially when it comes to cartoons and content made for them. This normalization is so passive that unless you're on top of what even your kids' toys are, it can be dangerous. Have a look at this. When a mother had purchased a doll for her child and discovered this.
To be shared. As you all know, stuff that's been going on in the world about the sex trafficking in kids and things that are thrown in our kids' faces to kind of groom them and make them kind of a little bit more oblivious to things that are really happening. So it was my daughter's birthday a couple days ago, and she turned 2, and she was given this gift. It's like a little poppy doll. It's adorable. And here's the box. So she had a poppy birthday, and so they gave her this. It's just from the new movie, The Trolls World Tour. On the box, it says "Giggle and Sing Poppy." On the back, it says that if you push her tummy right here, sorry, it's glaring. If you push her tummy right here, she makes 10 phrases and sounds. And that's all it talks about. And it comes with a little comb. So, I mean, she does all that. You touch her tummy and she makes little singing sounds, and she's super cute.
Pretty normal, right? What we're talking about here, Ron. What you going on about, Ron?
Well, I was showing her to my husband, and I heard some other sounds that I had never heard before. And if you look, down here, I figured a video was the best way. So I just touched her tummy and she's going to sing for a minute. But down here is a button right here on her privates. And if you push those, she makes these sounds. Like a gasping sound.
Like, I'm not being funny. This is the sort of stuff that makes me break things. Okay. Because it's one thing when we've got individuals discussing stuff that's horrible. It's got one thing when we've got groups, all the rest of it. But when we have companies who are approving designs, who are allowing these things to happen, it becomes an unspoken truth, right? I mean, there's no other way of putting it. We can't just sit here and say, oh, you know, there was a rogue designer who decided to just make a spicy troll doll. We can't just say that, because that's not how corporate, you know, design and how these things are pushed through. Oh, as my stuff just frozen. There we go. That's not how this stuff gets pushed through. It's really, really shocking. And finally, the classic lol dolls. We all remember this one.
And when you soak them in ice cold water, and the lingerie outfit that this little girl came out in. I'm going to do it myself since my daughter has a ton of them, and we're going to find out.
Right away, lingerie outfits should not be associated with kids' toys. Correct, Ron, from the past. All right. Just in case anyone's super desensitized out there. Like, this is an issue.
If it's really real. Okay, here we go.
Also, as well, and I'm not criticizing anybody, this is old news. I'm just putting this back out there because so much of what we covered and so many other channels got vaporized that had this information.
Okay. Little girl. Nothing on her. Okay. Here we go.
Put her in cold water.
You guys. Oh my God.
Okay, hang on a second. What are your thoughts, Ron, on normalizing things in schools at young age, like LGBTQ stuff? Okay, so when I was at school, we got sex education. That is where I would assume you would learn about that kind of thing from an educational point of view, if that makes sense. But that would be it, I would think. That makes sense. That's how I would like it to be, if that makes sense, because LGBTQ is a lot more than just, you know, trans movement and all that kind of stuff. I am very pro adults being adults consensually with other adults, all having the same rights. And this is going to sound really bad. Okay. It almost comes from a place where I just don't care. I do care, right? But it's like, why has the world not gotten over this yet? Why are there still people who are getting oppressed for being gay? Like classic gay. Do you know what I'm saying? Dude and a dude living their lives. What? I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I really, really don't. And I'm okay with anyone having a different of opinion from me when it comes to anything other than the subject of kids. We can all stand together, right? And have different opinions on larger picture things, but we unite over the issue with the kids. Does that make sense? So once we've dealt with every PDF file in the world, we can have a sit-down discussion about, I don't fucking know, man. I'm just like, for me, adults who have consensual lives with other adults should be allowed to make decisions and live their life and all still have rights and be able to enjoy life. That's the way I see it, man. Maybe that's a bit simplistic, but when it comes to the kids, nah. Do you know what was really scary? Who was it that asked me this? Hang on a second. E-Tron, do you know what was really scary? Today in the video that we covered, we looked at the big pharma side of the trans movement for transitioning children in America. And when you see how much money companies make from one transitioning child. It's about $1.3 million per transitioning child. If you're a psycho pharma guy, who can turn that down? See, Mark, it's not a weird generation, because a lot of the stories we're hearing are parents going to doctors to talk about their children feeling like they're in the wrong body, and then being fear-mongered into allowing mutilation surgery. One of the stories we heard, the doctor turned around to the parents and said, listen, if you don't let this happen, you're going to have a dead daughter. Would you rather have a living son or a dead daughter? What in the actual fuck is that shit? Serious. I'm asking you. Transgender people are not a new thing. Like, they're not. It's just not. It's this woke ideology where children should be allowed to make decisions for themselves at 9 years old that can affect the rest of their lives. Because I know this ideology is going to be hijacked and used by predators to push the narrative that, hey, if you can chop off your dick at 9, you should be able to decide where you put it at 9. And that is what I fear. Because we can't be having that shit happening, yo. They hijacked the LGBTQ. Forgive me if I'm missing letters and shit. I'm an old dude. But they hijacked the LGBTQ movement. They got smashed to pieces, right? But the MAP movement, this is what you're dealing with now. The rebrand. And the normalization has gotten so much worse. And when platforms suppress and take away information, how are you meant to win? We're going to have a whole generation of kids who are watching YouTube. Yeah, Ron, this is my point, Phil. Yeah. Okay, good. Nice one. So we're going to have a whole generation of kids watching news and being educated on the world on YouTube, where serious situations have to be referred to as R word, PDF file. It takes away the seriousness of the situation. You know? It dulls it down. It creates this light-hearted terminology. And it's nuts. And there's so many things that are put out to distract everybody. You know? And I tell you something, if you've ever gotten sucked into some of these podcasts where they've got like Andrew Tate style alpha males and these OF girls, and they're arguing out about who's right about how they see the world, that shit fascinates me. It really, really does. Because there is these mindsets within the young people. I don't mean kids. I mean, you know, young 20-year-olds and things that adopt this carefree mindset, and they put themselves in incredibly dangerous scenarios. It's mad. But from somebody that used to build websites for a couple of fairly large UK high-profile adult actor couples years ago, they told me horror stories about what it was like before they just went independent and started up their website. This is way in the past, man. This is like 20 years ago. Okay. It was horror stories. And then there was a documentary. There was a documentary made by that chick in Parks and Recreation. Hang on a second. Is it Revolving Door? Yeah. I can't remember a name. I'm shit with names, man. Oh wow, that is not the search that I was looking for. What the hell is the documentary called? I can't remember. It was on Netflix. And the chick that played, I can't remember what her freaking name was. The chick that lived next to the pit in Parks and Recreation in season 1, Jan, she directed it. What's her name? Hang on a minute. No. Anne, not Jan, Anne Perkins. Right, we will ADHD our way through this, people. Anne Perkins, played by the actress Rashida Jones. Let's get your IMDb page. Okay, Rashida Jones. Oh, producer. Oh no, what have we done? Here we go. Girls, I'm freaking this. Thank you, Brain. Thank you, Brain. Hot Girls Wanted. Okay, I'm definitely not playing the trailer. But this was mind-blowing. Okay, because okay, all right. That was very close to losing my entire channel. We're not going to look at the search results for that. But basically what it is she talks about the pre-OF, the pre-being able to take control of your content era, where young girls were, promised the world and, promised that they were going to be this new face and all the rest of it. And they were churned out and used and sent home, horrified, ashamed, and it's wild. Okay. So a lot of people have opinion on OF and things like that, but trust me, right? In my opinion, it is the lesser of two evils for a lot of young people. Okay, it's nuts. But you need to watch that documentary. Like I say, it's wild, and the horror stories from the old industry are horrible, really horrible. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know why we're talking about that. Bit random. Okay, yeah, I can post. It's called Hot Girls Wanted, Turned On. Go and watch it. It is a good documentary. And again, it's this perception that we all have that regulated industries, aren't horror factories, and they really are. Oh, here we go. Just got my outdoor studio sorted. Jealous. So I can start doing my YouTube full time with Marvel DC. Yes, E-Tron. Yes. Let me know when you're getting up and started. Join the Discord. Let me know when you're up and started. Or Randy is your man for chatting about all that stuff. I have got Warhammer 40,000 first edition, first print of the rules for the game ever. That's how long I've been playing 40k. Sadly, if I ever get back into it, I'm buying a 3D printer, because I got into it back in about 8 years ago, and I was like, oh, aye, £65, aye, for 10 minis. Oh, aye, yeah, brilliant, mate. Fucking what? Mad. But yeah, I've got a Space Wolf army that is shit hot. Yeah, but let us know, E-Tron, because jealous. I got 2, 3. Good. Yes. Well, make sure you join the Discord, mate, because I might get you to 3D print some bits and bobs. Are you in the UK? If you're not in the UK, then I won't get you. I won't bother asking you. But if you're in the UK, then I might get you to make up some wee giveaway 3D print and custom, like decision coins that you flip with like yes or no on the backs. Okay, sweet. Yeah, nice. All right, well, join the Discord. Let's chat about that, because I think design a really cool little 3D printable coin, and we'll start doing wee giveaways with them. Barnsley! I'm from Barnsley! From Barnsley, I said, freaking bastards! Barnsley. Love it. So we're hitting an hour and a half. It's 12:30. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got anything they want to throw into the side chat for us to look at this evening? I really enjoyed just sitting here freestyling and chatting with you guys. So apologies if it's a bit low production value this evening. Yeah, well, you see, here's the thing, right? See 3D printers, right? I've often said this. I mean, I've been in media, like digital media, for so long, and watching when I used to do the club nights, watching the vinyl disappear, the CDs disappear, MP3s all coming in, the digital era being here. And the one thing that captivated me was After Effects and being able to create these incredible motion graphics on our computer at home. And that's when I was hooked with video editing and all that stuff. It was crazy, you know, and then spent most of my 20s in uni because, you know, Scotland, free education in that. That's what I love about Scotland is your right to an incredibly free high education, you know. It was awesome. It was awesome. Learning, you know, programming, web design and new media design and all this. And then literally graduated, and most of what I'd learned, it was redundant because it was in Flash. But I was very proactive. Like within the first week of learning how to build websites, I was looking for clients to build websites for and learning on the job whilst I was at college. It's the best way of doing things is to just get stuck in. One thing, if there's one little tidbit I'll send to you, someone said to me years ago, treat everything like fishing, okay? Because there's only so much you can be told about fishing until you go out and start fishing. And it's that mindset of get the basic knowledge and go out and teach yourself your way, you know? It was the same with Photoshop. Photoshop, I never knew how to use for years, and I used to hire designers, and I used to sit with the designers whilst they were doing Photoshop, and I just passively absorbed everything that they were doing and went to college and refined it all, obviously. No bigger educated in life. Okay, all right. So years and years ago, I used to make camping videos, all right? I loved making camping videos. And along came a YouTuber who started covering the dark web. And I was like, this can't be real, because at that time, it was a huge focus on blackmail sites. One in particular that was called Pink Meth, where they would hack into people's, you know, phones or laptops and look for young teens who are getting changed or perhaps doing something they shouldn't be in front of their camera, and record them and blackmail them to do more horrible things. It resulted in many, many suicides. It's a horrible, sextortion is a horrible thing. There's been major cases, and that was the first thing I ever covered in documentary form. So back then, I had to go and see for myself. I learned about how to customize the Tor browser so that you couldn't see images and videos, but you could see information. And when I did my own investigation, I mean, I was horrified. My daughter at the time was a young teen, and I was horrified at how widespread this blackmail was. And as I delved deeper and learned how to use spiders that scour the dark web for onions, which are, you know, URLs, I started coming across an abundance of abuse content for sale, and I couldn't understand how there was no way I was the only one coming across this, you know. And this was at a time where the dark web was still active with horrible people. And when I seen this, I knew I had to figure out how to report these sites. So I started off with collecting the spider information, going onto the site, making sure it was still live. Again, not seeing any images or any of the content, but you can read, you know, you can read the words, the sales pitch, which is bad enough. And I would then report them to the IWF and report them to authorities, who would then take the URLs, find out where the servers were, hand them over to Interpol, all that kind of stuff. So I reckon probably 10,000 plus sites we took down. Easy 10,000. And for me, I treat them like clubhouses. So let's say you've got a biker gang and there's 100 members, and you burn down their clubhouse and they rebuild the clubhouse somewhere else. it might only get 80 members. And then you shut it down again and again and again and again and again. And there was communities that, I mean, there's a lot of myths on the dark web, but trust me, I'm about to tell you about, and I'm going to touch on this because this is going to be a whole evening that we're going to spend on this. There was a forum called Evil BB, and Evil BB was the real deal. Okay. This is where really dangerous, horrible, real deal monsters dwelled. Everything from, in fact, I've got, you're talking to the guy that would go on these forums and post a big notice saying, "Hi, I'm making a documentary about you monsters. Want to chat to me on an encrypted network?" You know, that's how I learned the tactics of predators, was asking predators. You don't learn anything from a predator when you interview them in prison. That's like looking at a lion in a zoo. You learn from the ones that are out there. So I spent weeks talking to anyone I could in the dark web, encrypted, knowing they couldn't find me and I couldn't find them. And it never really got to me, I'll be honest. None of it got to me apart from the stories from the survivors. This was right after my baby girl passed away. And I was very numb, I think, to a lot of things neurotypical people are horrified by, you know? And I had to remind myself of the levels of danger. You know, I had people contacting me all the time, I had one guy directly from the dark web wanting me to meet him in a graveyard so that he could tell me the stories. What? They bother me. Okay, so this is a part of the Evil BB forum that I archived. I'm going to highlight one here for you guys. In fact, can I show you this? Okay, I'm going to give you some of the titles. Topic: stabbing. That is a good form of torture when applied under total control of the victim. She must be bound. And that's about as far as I'm going to go because it sounds like I'm educating you on this. But I've got pages and 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 pages of this. Some of it entered into my Hurtcore documentary. I've almost remastered that. That is wild. And it's so, I've learned so much about how mad the shit is that I used to put out. You know, you heard me in that parental guidance episode talking about desensitization. And yeah, there's some things that have been edited out of that majorly. But it's also, I think, the way that I film my documentaries. I'll sit and research for months, a year maybe, and then sit down in one night with no script and film the whole documentary. And before I start filming it, I'll break all the little bits that I need B-roll for or news things or whatever, and I'll edit all them, and then I'll film in the gaps, if that makes sense. So this website goes on to tourism. And if you wanted to acquire a youngling or a human, how you can use non-verbal forms of contact to identify yourself to your supplier. And the details that they go into about duct tape and why duct tape is a terrible idea is wild, right? You know, when they talk about if you're going to snatch a youngling off the street, and how evidence can be held on the stickiness, it's bonkers, because you're seeing people discussing things like it's Facebook and they're into fishing or boating. These individuals are proud to bring in new members. And when you see a populated forum of these individuals chatting, in a place where they think they're safe. You see the true dark side of humanity, not the gray, the dark. Okay. I live my life in the gray. Okay. That's the best. It's called balance. The white and the black, it meets in the middle and it's gray. And I'm all right with it. You know, I'm all right with it. But this stuff, I remember speaking to a woman, and it was her dream to meet a man who wanted to make babies with her so that they could raise them and torture them and pass them around other people. And when I spoke to her, there was no hint of lying or deception. This was what she wanted. And I learned about subcategories of these monsters. So to the normal person, you know, the child lover side of this, the child lover thinks a 5-year-old should be able to consent and have consensual, loving relations. Caring, loving relations in their brain. Caring, consensual, child lover. Then you've got the family PDF file, who's a man or a woman who wants to make babies to abuse. You've then got those who fall into this weird category of, what's the word I'm looking for? Degeneracy, right? Where they accidentally become viewers of this content because that is this weird path of filth they've gone down. And I'll tell you something else. This is going to sound weird, right? Like when I was a young teenage boy, and for some reason the Playboy channel would activate on cable TV, there was a very common theme to the lady actors, all right? And it was almost like everything was exaggerated, if you know what I'm saying, right? It was quite a common style or blueprint for what you would associate with adult content, right? You know what I'm saying? Big boobies, big lips. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what is going on in the modern era, right? But it seems to be the opposite now. It seems to be very disturbingly close to prepubescent vibes. It's weird. And do you know what the thing is though? That's the mainstream industry. That is the mainstream industry. That's not a hidden group or whatever. It's fucking weird. And I done a whole video where I called out P-Hub for allowing youngling doll content on their platform, where people were uploading videos of themselves doing things with very small dolls. You know, custom design dolls. And I'm researching and I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is wild. So I made that video, it blew up, and then millions of videos were removed. Okay. Ironically, I uploaded the video I made to P-Hub and they wouldn't allow it because of the content that was in it. But the content that was in it all came from their website. That was a wild one. I'm not going to lie. That was a wild one. Yeah. And the nudist colonies, man, they're getting revisited. Do you know that it's a weird loophole where if you've got a nudist colony, you can sell public DVDs of like an 8-year-old nudist freaking community birthday party. And I found a website where that's what they were facilitating. Like, sure, they were a nudist organization, But when all you're selling is young kids naked having parties or in pools, that's when I come a calling. You know? I tell you what, actually, there's a video on my channel that you should all, if you want to learn a little bit more about my time on YouTube. Where is it? Wait, hang on a minute. The iced coffees are wearing off. There it is. So I can't play the sound because it's super copyrighted. But this sort of breaks down a lot of the things that we did. The Brimmer model, Belen Kazar, focusing on the fact that YouTube seems to have its priorities wrong. And it goes into a lot of the cases that we did. And if you're interested in learning more about that era of the content, I'll post a link for you right now. And I'll also pin it. Because I think it's actually pinned in the comments down below as well. But it's mad the extent. I mean, this was Belen Kazar, that made the papers, they got raided. You know, systems, PCs, executives were arrested. Sadly, no charges because of corruption. That was the company that sent me a cease and assist letter, right? And then I made a video of me wiping my ass with the letter and me posting it back to them. Like, don't send me shit. Especially if you're in like Venezuela. Like, okay, sound. I'll turn up to court in Venezuela, mate. Yes, yeah. Actually, hang on a second. Were you not in voice chat? Hang on. Where the fuck's Discord? Oh, you've got. That's all right. Yes, yeah. We'll talk again. We'll talk soon, mate. So go and give that a watch. There's a lot of things that will trigger all of you, and there's nothing that I like more than triggering you all, because that's the realities, you know. Well, listen, I really like these chats. I just want to say thank you. 670, 556 on Twitter, 108 on YouTube. I mean, thanks so much, especially all you wonderful people on Twitter who turn up in droves. Please, please, please make sure you take a second to just come and subscribe to the channel. We certainly are not, okay? We are outnumbered, okay? The only thing that causes us to be outnumbered is ignorance, okay? The world has been made for distractions. People can't be being concerned with this. They've got council tax and mortgages and school uniforms and, you know, overpriced gas and electricity to be distracted by. So we need to wake everyone up one person at a time. And I don't mean woke, I mean awake. You're welcome, Lisa. But I'm telling you, next couple of weeks, we're going to be back hard. And I mean, I've got episodes of internet horrors from that I've been working on for years. So we'll maybe start dropping them. And the first one is all about a Snapchat group that ensnared a young Australian girl, and she was forced into making content with the family dog for sale by her father. I mean, it's super fun. So yeah. Oh, E-Tron, are you there, mate? You there, E-Tron? Your mic's off.
Yeah.
What? I'm from Barnsley. What's happening, mate? Tell us a bit. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wait a minute, because let me turn that down because I can hear me sending through that. Yeah, I've been into modeling since I was about 12.
Yeah,
13.
Nice. You're talking about miniatures, right? Okay, just
yeah. I know everybody thinks that when I talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had about 15 years where like I was proper like addicted to things I shouldn't be and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I needed to like sort my life out bad. But I moved to Sheffield for 7 years, did that, come back over here, and then I was going to get YouTube full time about 4 years back, and then my mum passed away.
Oh shit!
So I put it, cancer second time, so I put it on hold a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've just started doing it again more. I've turned Gary. Well, my dad got rid of his car and get his license up because I'm looking after him because he's 83. And he's let me out of garage and turn it into a studio.
Yeah. Well, here's my advice to you, right? If I was going to give you advice and start a channel about models, right, I would do time lapses of you painting or constructing the models where you then talk about something else other than the models over the top of the models, right?
Yeah.
Which will give you 2 forms of content creation, and then have a Patreon where people can support you for the extended miniature paintings, tutorials, all of that kind of stuff, and do cut down versions as well, maybe once a week on your channel. Just to sort of promote it all. But listen, because you're from Barnsley and you've got a fucking spoken word of about fucking 8 words a minute, sadly, we cannot dive any deeper this evening, Etron. But listen, when was the last time you had a pasty?
About 4 days ago.
My fucking G, pure fucking Barnsley, my guy. Fucking love it, mate. Do you know the funny thing about the pasty, right? Do you know why the pasty is shaped like that? Or why we have the pasty, right? Because it was a very traditional thing that was created by like the wife of the farmer, right? So she'd wake up, there'd be a hot pasty, he'd stick it in his pocket, it would keep him warm, he could tan half of it for his breakfast, tan the other half of it for his lunch. It was basically the first ever kind of like meal deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Didn't they even what's that one now where they used to do didn't they used to do one where it were half savoury and half sweet or something?
Fuck knows. Yeah. Fucking Barnsley. I'm from fucking Barnsley. Fucking right, mate. What football team do you support?
Used to take me. I'm a City fan, Man City fan.
I don't know anything about football. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not right into football, but I used to get sent Man City home and away shirts when I was a kid from family.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I like.
My mates used to support Man United, and I was like, now I'll support Man City instead.
Yeah, I like full contact. If it's not full contact, it's not a sport. It's just a game. I like the World Cup. I can appreciate that I'm a minority because it's the biggest fucking sport in the world. But if it's not all inclusive, rugby is good too. American football for me, that is my kind of sport because it doesn't matter if you're the tiny little kid or like the freaking overweight 6-foot giant. There is a position on the team for you. Yeah. I mean, if you don't believe me, Google the Fridge and look at his career. I mean, he was a blocker, and my God, I mean, wild. So listen, thank you everybody for coming and hanging out tonight. Thank you for continuing to support me, for being here. Thank you to the Sean Atwood X community. Thank you for joining us and being part of this too. I appreciate all of you. And I can't wait to get the Discord fully rolling. I can't wait until we start dropping some new exposés. I can't wait until you guys are all part of building these new investigations. And listen, we'll play the crowd pleaser on the way out, and I'll see you all next time.
Down in the dungeon is all we know, where the shining light, we never go into the open. As far as you can see it, wasting a big bright destiny. Don't you feel like breaking free? Open your eyes, embrace what you see now. Don't you feel like cutting loose? Yeah, cutting loose, cutting loose. Out of the canopy, my dreams get bigger than you and me. I'm alive to die. Taking a leap, never dream. Dreams get bigger. bigger than you and me. I reach on the summit, calling for you. I close my eyes, can you feel it too? Don't wanna be alone. I got you, escape with me. Let me fall into you. Don't you?
Actually, fuck it. Do you want to watch some TikToks that Dan sent me? Hang on a minute. Let's fucking watch some TikToks that Dan sent me. She sends some good stuff. All right, so this is the secret part of the stream now. Welcome to the secret part of the stream. How the fuck do I put this on the computer now? All right. Oh, okay. How do we? Okay, yeah. Put the seizure causing fucking flashing off as well. That's probably a wise move. There we go. So, copy. Can I just drag this in here? Oh my god, I can just drag it in here. Yes. All right. This is a new section that we're going to call TikTok or something with Dan, right? So we're just going to play through these because this is my kind of stuff, right? This is the feel good. This is the feel good part of the stream, guys. Okay, enjoy it. So here we go. Little dog, 14 seconds. Fucking doing it, bro. Outsmarted by the retreats and car, like the impression, right? That everything that is normal, like baths and getting into a car, is some sort of like torture. Monday morning on the way to job. Too late to walk. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no, we can see this. Okay, we need to restart this. Oh my god, look at this guy. Has anyone ever been through this? Oh, I've been through this. Oh, just like, nah, mate. Nah. Oh, absolutely fucking embarrassing beyond belief. Is anybody else's dog, right? You take them places. Oh my god, you had to get picked up. Oh, you gotta love the floofers, man. They are where it's at. Normal people, yep. Huh? Oh, I know why she sent this. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah, no. Thor is not into that. Thor is not into that. I thought that she was going to have a dig at me for not replacing shit. POV revealing mom and dad bringing home an annoying little brother. Oh my god. Okay, Dan, you might have to try harder.
In the middle of the night, what do you have to say for yourself? Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
It's okay, girl.
Yeah. Thor is like this a lot. Like he's so like different with me than anybody else. We've got such a bond, right? This is the last one, peeps. Me trying to act happy because my boyfriend said we will be buying a Chinese if I cheer the fuck up. That's Dan right there. That's the life I live. All right, peeps, you're all awesome. I freaking love yous. Let's try this again, and I will see you in the next one. Can't find the play button. There it is. Let's go.
Open your eyes and embrace what you see. Don't you feel cut it loose? Yeah, cut it loose. Cut it loose. My mind's fixed out on the canopy. My dreams getting bigger than you and me. You die. Taking a leap, I'll never leave. My dreams getting bigger than you and me. I will die for you. I will die for you. I will die for you. Alive, I do or die. I'm alive, do or die. I'm alive. Take